A shocking incident unfolded at an airport when a Marine veteran and his service dog were barred from boarding their flight. The events that followed left onlookers stunned. Captain Jason Carter, a Marine veteran, was having a particularly rough day. His service dog Axel was being refused boarding on his flight. Despite having all the necessary documentation, the airline attendant was adamant about leaving Axel behind. "Either you leave the dog or none of you flies," the attendant barked. Frustrated and determined, Jason stood his ground. A young journalist, Rachel, witnessing the incident, began recording it. The commotion attracted attention, and a distressed child separated from her parents began to cry. Axel, sensing the child's distress, instinctively approached her and calmed her down. The parents, thankful, praised Axel and thanked Jason. However, the airline attendant remained unmoved, insisting Axel would not be allowed on board. Just when things seemed hopeless, a man named Robert, an executive from a rival airline, intervened. Impressed by Axel's good deed, Robert offered Jason and his family seats on their next flight. With the new tickets, Jason and his family boarded the plane. Relief washed over them, but their anxiety remained. As they settled into their seats, a flight attendant approached, recognizing Axel's role and assuring Jason of their commitment to a smooth flight. Jason, a veteran of 3 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, was living with post-traumatic stress disorder. Axel, his service dog, was more than just a pet. He was a lifeline, helping Jason cope with anxiety and panic attacks. Their bond was deep, forged through training and mutual reliance. Axel's presence provided a sense of security that no human could offer. Jason's story with Axel was far from over. A reunion with his military unit in California presented a new opportunity. However, their journey was marred by the airline's resistance to Axel's certification. Mid-flight, Axel's agitation alerted Jason to a suspicious passenger. Jason, recognizing Axel's past as a sniffer dog, discreetly alerted the flight attendant. The plane made an emergency landing, and the suspicious passenger was apprehended for smuggling illegal substances. Jason and Axel were hailed as heroes upon landing. The reunion with his unit was emotional, and Jason's experience inspired him to advocate for change in airline regulations regarding service animals. Determined to prevent other service dog owners from facing similar challenges, Jason embarked on a campaign to raise awareness about the importance of accommodating service animals on flights. He reached out to media outlets, politicians, and airline representatives, sharing his story and advocating for stricter regulations. His efforts gained significant momentum, and soon, stories of other service dog owners facing discrimination began to emerge. Jason's campaign became a rallying cry for the rights of service animals. He organized protests, wrote letters to government officials, and testified before legislative committees. Through his unwavering dedication and perseverance, Jason's campaign eventually led to significant changes in airline policies. Regulations were strengthened to ensure that service animals were treated with respect and allowed to accompany their owners on flights without discrimination. Jason's story became a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. His advocacy helped to improve the lives of countless service dog owners and their animals, ensuring that they were no longer treated as second-class citizens. General Thompson offered Jason a position in a new initiative aimed at improving the lives of veterans with PTSD. Jason accepted, determined to make a difference. His campaign, initially known as #LetAxelFly, evolved into #VeteranRights, advocating for comprehensive policy changes to protect veterans and their service animals. Despite the progress, Jason's campaign faced a setback when another veteran, Sergeant Alex Martinez, was denied boarding and faced legal charges. Jason stepped in, providing legal support and advocating for Alex's case. An internal memo from the airline revealed discriminatory policies against service animals, sparking public outrage and bolstering Jason's campaign. Jason and Alex appeared on a high-profile talk show, sharing their stories and advocating for change. The interview went viral, generating significant public support and donations. A whistleblower revealed that several airlines had been lobbying against stricter regulations for service animals. This revelation prompted an investigation by the Department of Transportation. The investigation exposed a widespread pattern of discrimination against service animals within the airline industry. The findings sparked widespread outrage and increased pressure on lawmakers to take action. In response to public outcry and mounting evidence, lawmakers began to introduce legislation aimed at strengthening protections for service animals. Jason and his supporters lobbied tirelessly to ensure that the proposed laws were comprehensive and effective. After months of intense debate and negotiations, a landmark piece of legislation was finally passed. The new law established stricter regulations for airlines regarding the treatment of service animals, including mandatory training for airline staff and penalties for non-compliance. Jason's campaign had achieved its goal. His tireless efforts, combined with the support of countless individuals and organizations, had led to a significant victory for veterans and their service animals. The veteran rights movement had become a powerful force for change, ensuring that service animals were treated with the respect and dignity they deserved. Inspired by their success, Jason and his supporters continued to advocate for broader reforms to protect the rights of veterans and their service animals. They worked to raise awareness about the challenges faced by veterans with disabilities and to promote greater accessibility in all aspects of society. Jason's story became a symbol of hope and resilience. His unwavering commitment to justice and his ability to mobilize public support had made a lasting impact on the lives of countless veterans and their furry companions. His legacy would continue to inspire future generations to fight for the rights of all individuals, regardless of their circumstances. Jason's advocacy efforts led to a pivotal meeting with key policymakers in Washington, D.C. He presented his case, backed by testimonies from veterans and legal experts. Despite resistance from airline representatives, the policymakers agreed to draft new regulations aimed at protecting the rights of veterans and their service animals. The airline that had initially refused Axel entry invited Jason to participate in a training program for their staff. Jason saw this as an opportunity to create lasting change from within the industry. The training session was emotional, and many airline staff expressed regret and a newfound understanding of the challenges faced by veterans. Alex's charges were dropped due to overwhelming public support and legal efforts. The leaked memo and the high-profile cases of Jason and Alex damaged many airlines' reputations, forcing the industry to act decisively. Robert, the executive from the rival airline, invited Jason to a meeting with CEOs of several major airlines. Jason presented his case, and Robert proposed a comprehensive plan for mandatory training programs, better documentation processes, and clear guidelines to prevent future incidents. The Department of Transportation announced a nationwide audit of airlines' policies on service animals, adding urgency to the discussions. An influential airline executive, known for his hardline stance, unexpectedly voiced his support for the proposed changes after experiencing firsthand the challenges faced by veterans with service dogs. The meeting marked a significant turning point. The industry was beginning to recognize the importance of accommodating service animals and the need for stricter regulations. Jason's advocacy had played a crucial role in driving this change. While at a meeting, Jason received a call from Elizabeth. Axel had been acting strangely, showing signs of distress. Elizabeth explained that Axel had been uneasy since the night before, barking at the door and pacing around. Jason's instincts told him something was wrong. Elizabeth heard a knock at the door. It was a delivery man with a threatening letter addressed to Jason. The letter warned him to stop his campaign. Jason was shocked but not deterred. He realized that their advocacy was making a significant impact, enough to draw the attention of those threatened by change. Returning to the meeting, Jason shared the latest developments. The CEOs and officials expressed their solidarity and promised to support Jason and his family. Robert suggested hiring private security and increasing public awareness about the threats. An investigative journalist uncovered a link between the threatening letters and a group of rogue airline employees. These employees had been resisting the changes, fearing the additional workload and accountability. The journalist's report went viral, leading to the dismissal of those involved and further solidifying the necessity of the reforms. During a press conference, the CEOs of major airlines, alongside Jason and Alex, announced the new industry-wide policies to better accommodate service animals and veterans. A young woman stepped forward, revealing she was the daughter of a veteran whose life had improved since Jason's campaign began. Jason and Axel were invited to the White House to meet with the president to discuss further initiatives for veterans. The president promised to support new legislation to protect the rights of service animals and their handlers. While touring the White House, Jason and Axel encountered a group of school children on a field trip. One of the children, a boy named Timmy, had a visible physical disability. Jason took a moment to explain how Axel helped him every day. The interaction went viral, further humanizing Jason's mission and spreading their story to a broader audience. Despite the progress, the threats against Jason did not cease. One evening, Jason and Elizabeth discovered someone had vandalized their property, leaving another menacing message. Determined not to be intimidated, Jason reported the incident to the authorities. Axel's restlessness led Jason to a hidden camera in their backyard, planted by those trying to intimidate him. This discovery prompted a deeper investigation, revealing a network of rogue operatives working to undermine Jason's campaign. The authorities quickly dismantled the operation, and several arrests were made. Despite these challenges, Jason's resolve only strengthened. He continued to receive overwhelming support from the public and veterans organizations. A major airline offered Jason a consulting role to help improve their policies and training programs for handling service animals. The consulting role allowed Jason to travel extensively, meeting with veterans, service animal trainers, and airline personnel. During one of these trips, he reunited with an old military friend, Sarah, who had been working on a similar advocacy campaign in a different state. Together, they pooled their resources and efforts, creating a more comprehensive and impactful movement. While working on these initiatives, Jason received an urgent call from Elizabeth. Axel had fallen seriously ill. Thankfully, Jason had the resources to ensure that Axel received the best care possible. This ordeal further highlighted the importance of service animals' health and well-being, prompting Jason to advocate for better veterinary care policies for these indispensable companions. At a veterans conference, Jason was approached by a young woman, Emily, the daughter of a veteran who had suffered from severe PTSD. Emily explained that her father, inspired by Jason's story, had finally sought help and was on the path to recovery. Her heartfelt gratitude moved Jason deeply, reinforcing the impact of his efforts. Jason's speech at the conference emphasized the need for continued advocacy, better policies, and community support. The speech received a standing ovation, and Jason was approached by numerous veterans and their families, all expressing their appreciation and support. The story of Jason and Axel is a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of advocacy, and the profound impact service animals can have on the lives of veterans. We invite you to share your thoughts on the shocking events that unfolded and the importance of supporting veterans and their service animals. Until next time, thanks for joining us on this story.